Hey everyone, it's Bethany from Beth and Books and welcome back to this Book Nook and welcome back to another episode of Wheel Choosers TBR. Now, let me just quickly get out the way that the reason I am holding you right now is that we are going to go on a little bit of a mission to the library. I will admit I have spun all the wheels, but I haven't figured out, I have spun all the spins for this wheel, but I haven't figured out what books I want to get because I'm going to head over to the library. This is truly the year of just not really buying books at all. I simply do not have the space whilst we are still figuring things out with our move to Australia. So we're going to go to the library together and figure it out together. So I'm kind of framing it as a library vlog style TBR video. I also just very quickly want to apologise for the lack of videos over the month of February. I will get into this in more detail in a vlog. I'm posting this, then there is like a February kind of vlog, and then I will post an updated vlog and talk more about it. But I just want to very quickly get out of the way that I have found a job and getting back into work after like 2.5 months off. I've been loving it, but it is also very tiring whilst I still am living in a house where there are 2 children under the age of 7. So when I'm at work, I'm doing my work, obviously, and when I come home, I am playing with the kids. But I have read a lot of books, and I did really well, to be honest, with myself on my February TBR, so I will be doing a summary. But anyway, I don't want this to be too long. We're already 1.5 minutes in, so let's just get straight into it. First things first, I'll grab my library book, grab my old books, and we'll hop on a train.
That's a library, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they're fucking brackets. When are those kids with glasses?
Very much behind us. Ready? Go. Okay, so we are here at the library and I'll insert the clip for the theme, for the themed reading vlog of the month here. And basically it's Instagram, like Bookstagram made me do it. So I'm going to go through my saved in my Instagram folder and see if my library has 3 of those books. Oh, there's Titus. What's he looking at? I don't know. Let me find some books for the themed vlog. Hang on, I need to get my, scan my card. I've got to put it perfectly in the place. I would like to borrow items, please, kind sir. Borrow. I said borrow. There you go.
How does it pick these up?
The barcodes in the book covers, I think.
Is that 2?
Yeah, 7 total, right? Alright, without my fringe I feel like I look so weird. I'm gonna go head home and then talk to you about the books there because the library was really quiet and I felt positively rude breaking the silence of a library. I was raised to believe that libraries are quiet places, so I don't want to talk. We have the books, so I will update you on what the books are that I got and what they're about once I get home. Quick pit stop first though. I think I want some bubble tea, maybe some food. Sounds like a good plan. That one.
You want one as well?
Shall we just share?
Sure.
Yeah. That sounds good actually, a barbecue pork bun. Oh yeah, sounds good. Can I get a large?
Yeah.
Hi, can I please get a large Thai smoothie? Yeah, actually I'll just have some tapioca pearls, please.
Do you still do the coconut smoothie? Give me one of those, please. No thanks.
36. That one, thank you. Yeah. You reckon I can do it one-handed? Oh yeah. Is that what you need? Oh yeah, Thai basil. Is this for dinner? Pomelo!
Need ones.
Huh?
Oh, one here. Kind of could be us.
Peeling it yourself?
Doing it.
Alright, we are back from the library. I'm just checking there's nothing too personal in the background. No, I don't think so. And we are working with natural light, so heads up if it starts to change, that's what's happening. But I did manage to pick up a lot of the books and physical copies, which I was really excited for. Thank you to Titus, who carried them back from the train station for me. What a legend. I am really excited to finally be reading physical copies again. So let's get into it. First of all, let's go through the themed reading vlog books, because that is what I'm intending to read first this month. Oh, there's like 2 versions of it. Well, I definitely want the prettier version, which is obviously that one, so there we go. We have Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This is a historic adult, I want to say contemporary, but it's like historical fiction. But in my brain, contemporary basically is me saying it doesn't have like fantasy elements in it. It's just like everyday life. So this is set on the North Carolina coast in 1969, and our main girl is Kaya. She is also known as the Marsh Girl because she's very much this wild outsider of a person. Now what happens in this novel is a very popular, handsome young man gets found dead, murdered. Everyone suspects Kaya because of course they have their prejudices and stereotypes that they believe in. So this book deals with that mystery, but it also deals with Kaya evolving as a person. For years she has survived in the marsh by herself, using her own knowledge and the nature around her, but she grows up and starts to realise she wants to feel and be loved. In comes 2 young men who are entranced by her wild beauty, and it kind of goes from there. Things evolve, things that Kaya didn't expect happen, and so it's kind of like a slice in life murder mystery historical piece of literature. Very intrigued to see how this goes because there are a lot of good reviews online. YA fiction? Why? OU. Ah, there it is. That one. Next up is Fable by Adrienne Young. This is one I saw absolutely everywhere when the sequel came out, because when you put them together they made like a really pretty cover. Not this cover, there's like a different edition. It kind of actually has a similar theme to Where the Crawdads Sing, because in this one Kaya fends for herself in the marsh. On this one, Fable learns how to fend for herself on an island because said father abandoned her on this like mysterious island. I will say this is young adult, and it's the only young adult of this February TBR, I'm pretty certain, because I've just not been enjoying young adult much, but I honestly have high hopes for this one. I do love a good pirate story. It is one of those settings and tropes, just like educational institution stories. Pirate stories I do tend to quite enjoy. Anyway, back to the story. Fable has to rely on this young man called West to help her get to her father. He helps her with like the navigation and survival and stuff like that, but he isn't how he seems. I'm kind of also anticipating an enemies to lovers or like a friends to lovers to heartbreak kind of trope in this. We'll see how it goes. MUR, convenience store woman. There's so many MAs. Where? Oh, down the bottom. Nice spotting. There we go. Hey look, we've got like a colour theme going on. There we go. That is the vlogs TBR. And then the last one we have here is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, and this is honestly shorter than I expected, and the blurb on this is really short. It says, she found sanctuary in a supermarket. I'm reading this like in the mirrored thing on my camera. Now she's about to lose it. Now there is more of a blurb on the inside cover, but I really want to go into this knowing as little as possible. I feel like it could be read in a somewhat autobiographical way, and I have actually just finished reading Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography, I'm Glad My Mum Died, which was my favourite book of February. Spoiler for my wrap up. So I am quite in the mood to see what this one is like. Okay, for the classical novel, I will admit I have already read it, and that is The Secret Garden. I picked this up because on my commute, by the way, I'm filming this on the 5th of March, on my commute to work and back, I do go on the train for about 15 minutes, so I got in the habit of bringing a book, and I've been using Libby and reading ebooks from my library. I finished a book and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done my March TBR yet, but I know I need to read a book that has the word secret in the title because of the Books and Lala Bookstagram Buzzwordathon challenge. So I chose The Secret Garden, and I have read it and I have quite enjoyed it. You probably have heard of it. It is considered a classic. I would classify it as a middle grade, I'm pretty sure. And I do remember reading it as a child, so it is also a reread for me. It's about our young character called Mary, whose parents have both passed away, and she is brought to live with her uncle in the Yorkshire Moors, repping home Yorkshire Moors, and she basically starts off as a really sullen child. She's not loved, basically. She was never really loved by her parents. Her mother shunned her, so she has like no proper relationship with her sadly deceased mother, and like she's got all this bigotry because that's how she grew up. And it's a story about her making friends with another young boy, Colin, whose father doesn't love him because Colin's mother died in childbirth, so you've got that whole tough relationship for the father, because here is this child, but this child accidentally, unintentionally, was part of the reason why your wife died. So yeah, it was really interesting to read again as a adult, but I won't get into it too much because I will talk about this more in my wrap up. But basically it's about two young children who are coming together to love each other, not in like a romance way, like in a family way, because Colin's her cousin. Anyway, I feel like I'm butchering this. It's beautiful, haunting little middle grade book. Alright, for this one, I'm just going to whiz through it really quickly. I am carrying Dark Dawn over from February to March. I really want to read this. I want to finally finish the trilogy, the God's Grave trilogy. Is that what it's called? I actually don't know what the trilogy... Nevernight Chronicles. It's called the Nevernight Chronicles. I really want to hurry up and get around to reading this. Obviously, there is a cat on the cover with lots of other animals, so I feel like it fits this prompt well. It's basically... It starts off as like an assassin kind of novel, again a character trope. I really do enjoy reading a good female assassin story, and I won't get into it too much because I don't want to spoil the rest of the series. All I will say is I know lots of people dislike Jay Kristoff's writing. I understand, but we all have our own opinions. Me personally, I like his stories. I like how he tells his stories, so I'm gonna read them. I will say the reason why I haven't read it yet is because it's like 500 pages, and even, like, maybe I should try find the ebook, because when it's just on my tablet or my phone, it doesn't feel as long as it does when it's like chunky in front of me. Anyway, let's move on. TBR. Oh, there's two. Sweet. Only one. Yes. Oh, okay, so we have relocated to the living room because the lighting back in the bungalow was just frustrating. But let's do the next one. Okay, so for this prompt, the most recent book on my TBR, it's actually kind of confusing because I recently went through and like purged my Goodreads, is what I currently use, my Goodreads shelves, and reorganized things, and I guess not minimalism, but like I just purged books that I was no longer interested in. And this means that my dates for when I added books to shelves has changed a little bit because Goodreads doesn't hold on to when you originally added the shelf. It holds on to the latest date that you moved it to a shelf. So if I moved a book from, say, just a want to read to my series I need to finish shelf, because that's how I've reorganized everything, it takes the moving date, not the day I added it to my shelf. Hopefully that makes sense. But basically it meant that when I looked at my Goodreads list, I had to go down quite a few before I got to one that I have recently added. And I'm so happy that I'm actually able to read a book that has quite recently been on my TBR list, because so often I'm reading them as backlist books, and whilst I'm totally fine with that, I do really want to try reading new books because part of my role, I feel, at least something that I want to be part of my role as a book influencer feels so wrong, but you know, someone who shares things about books, is letting you know about books that you probably haven't heard of to put on your radar. This is an adult, I guess in a way like contemporary, but it's got this funny little twist, so it could possibly be shelved as humour. We'll have to see when I read it. So this is a book about books, and our main character is called Lily, and she has just been given a tip-off about this book, and the book is called The Book of the Most Precious Substance. So kind of meta naming this book the book that our main character is actually looking. It's, if you start thinking about it, my mind starts to like whirlpool. But basically, it's a 17th century manual rumored to be the most powerful occult book ever written, if it really exists. Now, Lily's, I've already mentioned, haven't I, that she sells books. She has a very wealthy potential customer for the book, and so she's hunting it down to try and find it because it will be like the paycheck of a lifetime. This journey, trying to find the book, takes her from New York to New Orleans to Munich to Paris. And if she finds it, she stands to gain more than just money. This could erase the greatest tragedy of her life. But the thing that makes it slightly weird is, I think I heard Books and Lala talking about this, is the book is all about like sex. The book of the most precious substance is like horniness or something like that. So I am very intrigued and interested in this. And also, can I just say, this cover is absolutely beautiful, so that's great. Alright, A-N. Oh, I need to sing the alphabet out loud to myself, apparently. L-M-N. Ooh, here we go. Alright, obviously I know what the spins are going to be coming up, and I will admit that the last three books kind of fit all of the last three prompts, but we'll go through with like what I ended up assigning each of them. So for the spin that I've just shown you, which is less than 300 pages, I've gone for Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. This is an adult like science fiction, and it is currently, don't accidentally read anything, 255 pages, so decently nice and short. So this is set in 1912, and we're following an 18-year-old called Edwin. Now he crosses the Atlantic because he is exiled by like English polite society. He just doesn't fit into their perfectly pristine image that they have in their minds for what English society should look like. So he moves to British Columbia, which is in Canada, which I only learned about 5 minutes ago. Not even minutes, 5 seconds ago. And he enters into the forest and he hears this violin, and he suddenly feels this moment of peace, this moment of tranquility, but like this moment of realization of how small a person is in the whole world, and it kind of shocks him to his core a little bit. Then we see Olive, so there's 3 characters. Then we see Olive, which is 2 centuries later. And they are a famous writer who is travelling all over Earth, far away from her home, which is the second moon colony. So for her, moon is home, and she has travelled to Earth. Actually, I just realised Olive has not been gendered as female, so I'll just Olive, they. Within the text of Olive's best-selling novel lies a strange passage. A man plays a violin. Enter person 3. Okay, this is a name. Gasperi Jacques Roberts. Now, Gasperi is a detective in the black-skied night city, and he's hired to investigate an anomaly in time. So this doesn't say it's necessarily that much further in time, but it's very much implied, like, they understand time and the science behind it to a level that Olive and Edwin's time of society couldn't. So I'm assuming he is like further in the future. Either way, he's hired to investigate this anomaly in time. He uncovers a series of lives upended: the son of an English aristocrat driven to madness, a writer trapped far from home as a pandemic ravages Earth, and a childhood friend from the night city who, like Gasperi himself, has glimpsed the chance to do something extraordinary that will disrupt the timeline of the universe. So that's this one. I'm really sorry if that blurb sounded quite mixed up. To be honest, the blurb itself is quite mixed up, so there is a bit of a mystery for me going in as to how everybody links together. And I'm excited that it's short, because to me that implies that the pace is going to be good and this mystery won't be dragged on too long. B-E-N. Is that Star Trek? No, there, in the corner. In the corner. Yeah, oh, no. Over one. No, other way. Yes.
It's blue.
It says blue or green.
It is green.
I don't know, I'm counting that as blue/green, okay? It's literally both of them mixed. I'm counting it. Okay, for the greenish blue cover, I actually ended up going for the Vanishing Half, because this is literally green or blue. I couldn't tell you which. But this is by Britt Bennett, and this is almost like, I mean, I guess a lot of the books on this list actually are ones that I put on my TBR because I saw them all over Bookstagram. So it's almost like this whole TBR has a Bookstagram made me do it theme. Okay, I'm not too sure if I'm saying the sisters' last names properly, but there's 2 female twins, and they are referred to as the Vignus sisters. Vines, Sidness. I'm going to say Vignus. For some reason, the G feels like it should be a hard G. Now, they grow up as identical twins. They grow up in a black community. At the age of 16, they run away from home. One twin, do we have her name? No, we don't have her name. But one twin lives with her black daughter, and the other twin passes as white. So I'm assuming the twins themselves, their cultural identity, like they don't look like how someone would stereotype a person of colour. But even though they live such different lives, their fates are entwined. What will happen when their own daughter's storylines intersect? Now, this is also set in the 1950s to 90s, so we see like this 40-year difference. And like I think I mentioned in this other vlog I'm filming, what one was it? I'm really starting to get into more like contemporary historical fiction and stuff like that. H-E-N. Gotcha. Okay, and for the last one, I have The Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Now, I read Emily Henry's The Beach Read, and my biggest gripe with that novel is that the blurb did not match the content of the book, and I have always thought if the blurb and the book content had actually matched together better, so that when I started picking up the book and wanting like a cute cheesy romance, and instead was delivered like a mystery thriller vibe with a romance side plot, I would have enjoyed it more, but because I was expecting romance and it wasn't like heavy on the romance, I didn't like it. So I'm giving Emily Henry another shot, hoping I like this more. Again though, I've also seen this all over Bookstagram, and again, it's got blue on the cover. So like I said, these could all kind of work together. Also, talking about authors that I'm giving a second chance, Emily St. John Mandel wrote Station 11, which I thought was fine, but I didn't understand the hype so much. So like all of these, I mean, I've not read Brit Bennett, but this has got kind of blue on the cover, so like they could all kind of be into space, to be honest. But anyway, this is Book Lovers, and funnily enough, on the back it's actually blurred by Casey McQuiston. So I don't know, it just feels quite circular and connecting in a way. This is also, similarly to the Book of the Most Precious Substance, a book kind of about books. So this is about Nora, who is a cutthroat literary agent, and she is at the top of her game. Her whole life is books. Charlie is an editor with a gift for creating bestsellers, and him and Nora are worst enemies. I do love a good like enemies to lovers, which I'm assuming this kind of works out to be, because on the back it says, Nora has been through enough breakups to know she's the one. What? Like this? What? Oh, I feel like there needs to be punctuation or something. This says, Nora has been through enough breakups to know she's the one men date before finding their happily ever after. Actually, now I read that out loud, it does make okay sense. I was struggling over the one men date. I was like, one man date? You're dating multiple men at once? Whatever. She's the one men date before finding their happily ever after. To prevent another dating dud, Nora's sister persuades her to swap her city desk for a month's holiday in the Sunshine Falls. It's a small town straight out of a romance novel, but instead of meeting sexy lumberjacks, handsome doctors, or cute bartenders, Nora keeps bumping into ... Charlie. She's no heroine, she's no hero, so can they take a page out of an entirely different book? Also, I feel like I should have also said, Casey McQuiston said it's Schitt's Creek for book nerds, and I watched Schitt's Creek last year, and it was like my favourite show of the year. So, should I be going into a book where I'm unsure about the author with such high expectations? Probably not. But the blurb has done its job. It has hyped me up. It's got Taylor Jenkins Reid, who I enjoy. It's got Colin Hoover, whom I don't. It's got Ali Hazelwood, who I've heard of, and Beth O'Leary, who I've heard of. So all pretty popular authors blabbing this novel. Hey guys, it's me from the future, and by that I mean it is currently like the 15th of March. I'm so sorry this video took me a while to get out. Basically, I was figuring out for the longest time what book to choose for this prompt, and it finally came through. I'm doing Casey McQuiston's One Last Stop in the future. I'll just say this is what I intend to read rather than waiting for my library haul to come through. But this is basically a romance with a little bit of time travel involved in it somehow. Basically, we have August, who is our current time character, and she is just living her life, not really looking for romance because she doesn't believe she can find it. And then in comes Jane. So on the public transport, August sees Jane and she's like, wow, this person is so whimsical and beautiful, and what is going on? So yes to female romance. And turns out Jane is from the 1970s, and basically August will do everything she can to help Jane get back to her time period. So not too sure how it all works out. It's like, by all means, a contemporary romance, and then there's this time travel in it. So we'll see how that one goes. So that is it. That is the end of this video. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're planning on reading any of these books. Also, if you're planning on reading any, you know what I might do? On my Instagram, I might like share them all once this video gets published, a day or two after it, so I don't spoiler it, and see if anyone wants to do any buddy reads. So if any of these books you want to buddy read alongside me, hit me up on Instagram, Beth_and_books. And I will leave you with a spin for you guys, just for you guys. If you're going to use it, please let me know what book you choose, because I'm just always fascinated by what you guys are reading. Sorry for the big time gap over February, but hopefully this is the start of more videos going forward. So enjoy all the places you go on your own reading adventures. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
What?
I'm keeping